Hi PG fam, welcome back to the Yvette Set for personal growth straight talk topics with me, Yvette, aka EJ. So how's your personal growth going? Working on yourself for yourself feels good, doesn't it? You desiring with purpose, then figuring out how and holding yourself accountable for achieving your growth goals. Let's dig in and nourish our growth roots.
Episode 7, Purpose. Perhaps you had a realization or aha moment to work on purpose as a growth goal, which is twofold. Hence, 2 questions to keep in mind. 1, how do you determine your intent? 2, how are you discovering the purpose of your existence? PG fam, you know we focus on solutioning for the present and future from a coaching perspective. We know a few things that might also align with your story of what led you to work on purpose as your growth goal. We know that purpose is having intent, honest reasons for all your actions, and finding purpose is discovering the reason for your existence. Has anyone ever questioned your intent, or have you ever questioned someone else's intent? Like, why did you do that? Why did you say that? Why do you want that? Or have you ever thought to yourself, if we had true intent or meaning for all our actions and desires, how often would we speak, do, and chase goals? For me, yes, yes, and yes. And we know the vintage adage, think before you speak and do. In any case, we know the goal is to know your intent for all your actions and desires. When you know your intent, you are better able to achieve things and articulate exactly what your intent is for all your actions. And using myself for an example, I created my podcast to help people with their personal growth and to promote my books, which I wrote and self-published as self-refinement tools. On the contrary, we know when people perhaps do not have an intent, have ill intent, don't want to be forthcoming, or are doing something for the wrong reasons. They tend to get defensive and respond with something like, because I wanted to, because I can. Those are answers, but clearly do not explain your intent. We also know we can make our lives mean something. We know tomorrow is not promised to any of us, and time is one of those things we cannot control. Hence, for those of us who believe that we were born for a reason, when it comes to finding the purpose of our existence, like to leave some type of impactful mark on the world, we diligently seek our purpose. Now, determining true intent and finding our purpose can be done easily or require deep thought. Purpose being twofold. First, how do you determine your true or honest intent? Do you make your actions and desires count? Like mostly what you say, do, and even post online and want for yourself means something to you, or is rich as in meaningful and significant that is beyond anything superficial? Do you self-adjust? You know how after making a mistake we might say, I did not intend to do that, or I didn't mean to say that. So when self-adjusting, you correct yourself to clarify what you intended to do or say. What about being proactive? Do you question your own intent before taking action and upon desiring anything you want for yourself? It might sound silly, right, to have purpose for all your actions and desires, but do you? Do you question your intent for every single thing you say and do and want for yourself, from the time you wake up, from the time you lay it down to rest, thinking to yourself, what is my intent? What is my intent for what I am about to do or say? What is my end game for my self-refinement or personal growth goals, which, as you know, would be anything that personally benefits you? Do you assess the outcomes of your time? We do this sometimes when we feel productive, satiated, unfulfilled, or unhappy. As mentioned earlier, sometimes you don't realize how much time and energy you've wasted or have made a good use of until you take an inventory of accomplishments to celebrate and what you still want to accomplish. It's like, what have I achieved today, this week, last month, last year, this year so far? And what were the reasons for it all? For me, if you're just curious, I determined my intent by living with purpose, intentionality, and accountability, which also helped me to discover what I believe is my purpose. Since purpose is twofold, lastly, if you are discovering your purpose, how are you doing it? Because the clock just keeps ticking, doesn't it? Can't stop time no matter how desperately we might want to. Are you guided by your spirituality? A few examples, like searching deep within your heart, mind, and soul, or believing in signs that lead you to the purpose of your existence. Do you live with purpose to discover your purpose? Meaning to have true intent for all your actions, including your non-actions and silence, and for all your desires. Are you leaning into or perfecting your gifts to discover your purpose in life? Like, do you use or master your innate talents, those gifts you were born with, or your abilities that come natural to you? Or are you becoming an expert at things you enjoy doing? Do you achieve your commitments to identify your purpose? For instance, you knowing and seeing what you have accomplished helps you to identify what you believe you were born to do. Here's an inspirational thought for purpose. Navigating with intentionality is paramount to achievement, fulfillment, and discovering your purpose. So if having a purpose is a growth goal for you, what ways will you determine your intent for your actions and desires? If you have mastered having intent, what have you gained so far from consistently practicing intent? If you have found the purpose of your existence, how are you fulfilling your purpose? Well, our 7-minute-ish time box is up, doing a soft close. Thanks for hanging out, PG fam, and stay passionate about your personal growth. Please drop personal growth topics you want me to cover in the comments below. And connect with me on Instagram. Make your week wonderful, fam. Proud plug for my products. Purpose context can be found throughout all 6 of my books, and very specifically in 4 of them. Ahead of the Game, Forward Thinking, in Chapter 4, All About You, and In the Game, Careers and Executives throughout the Reality Check-In fictional storyline, and also in the Game Life in Chapter 8, Your Next Chapter, and in the Reality Check-In fictional storyline, and in the Game Relationships, Chapter 1, Building Rich Relationships, and throughout the Reality Check-In fictional storyline. For my 6 books, you can read the first few ebook pages for free. Links are in the description. Thanks for listening. Until next time, feel good about yourself for yourself. Stay blessed, PG fam.